Call the meeting to order, the town council meeting. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Paul,
Here.
Vice Mayor Starkey,
Here.
Councilmember Whitman,
Here.
Councilmember Hatton,
Here.
Councilmember Lewis,
Here.
Mr. Lamack,
Here.
Mr. Lewis, Mr. Holste, Mr. Sherwin.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Before we start, I would just like to take a moment of silence and prayers for the lost lives of the victims of Hamas in Israel and the children that were killed and hurt today in Georgia with increased school shootings. Thank you. The first part of the first public town council meeting every month is reserved for public comments. Speakers will not be limited to the number of topics. However, discussion will not be permitted on any item on the agenda for public hearing. Speakers may speak on the items on tonight's agenda when it's announced pursuant to the present policy. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes to address council. Is there anyone here this evening that would like to speak in this portion of the meeting? Well, seeing none, we'll move on. I know we have a lot of exciting things on the agenda today. Our first is a presentation. This will be done by our HR Director, Grace Garagoza. This is the Town of Davie Board and Committee Member recognition. Each of the volunteers that work on our committees will be receiving this beautiful little plaque that thanks them for their dedicated service to the town. Grace? I think what we're going to do when we're going to call you by the committee to come up, and you'll get your little plaque and go over and take a picture, and then remain close by because we'll then take a picture of everyone together. First committee, those people that are present from agricultural and environmental are Eric Swally and Jesse Bastos.
Our chair.
Okay. Thank you so much, and we're very excited about our second annual Gardens Matter Day, which is going to be taking place on October 5th, so we hope to see you all there.
Great, thank you.
Yes, during these times of crisis, we need to look forward to producing hydrogen energy from water. It's the exhaust is fresh water, and we'll look forward to be talking about that to you in the future.
Thank you. From the Budget Advisory Committee, Seymour Dorn and Danette Reed Williams. Did they come? They didn't come? Oh. Anybody else here from Budget Advisory? Okay. From the Historical Preservation Board, Jim Moore, Brandon Herman, and Lindsay Glasscock.
We're just history.
Great.
Thank you.
From the Planning and Zoning Board, Mike Crowley, Casey Lee, David Donzella, and Lisa Alvarez. Lisa was here, I don't know where she, well, you know, she has her own agenda.
Thank you, council. Just want to say it is a pleasure with the Planning and Zoning Board helping us out and the employees in the Planning and Zoning Department. Fantastic. Thank you very much.
From the Youth Education and Safety Advisory Committee, Tim Curtin.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. It's been an honor and a privilege all these years to sit on the committee. I'm not going anywhere, so I'll remain on the committee. And youth education, certainly youth safety, has become paramount over the last several years. So we're looking to address that even further. Thank you.
Thank you. From the Public Art Advisory Committee, Tony Webb and Virginia French.
Thank you very much for having a public arts committee. We really appreciate it, and we're going to do our best.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. I think public art is so important, and I love what the town of Davie is doing to encourage that in our town.
From the Police Pension Board, Lawrence J. Davis, excuse me. That'd be formal.
I do appreciate the opportunity. I'm grateful for having been able to contribute over 2 decades of time on this board. I think we've done a lot of incredible things for our men and women in uniform, and it's just been an honor to serve. So thank you for giving me that honor.
Lisa, you missed it. That's all right. And Fire Pension Board, Raj Verma and Joe Valenzuela.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you. And it is indeed an honor to serve on the board, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
And we're just going to take a minute to go down and take one picture with everybody. Can you manage?
Sent them the letter and a couple of other letters that they requested. But I think Bill's out of town for 2 weeks or something.
Y'all are welcome to stick around and hear what we do, but no, I know. I'm just kidding. Bye, everybody. Bye to Herman, kids.
Frank was late.
Thank you again for all your time and effort. We appreciate it. Our next presentation is a recognition of the Town of Davie's sponsorship of the Florida High School Rodeo. We have,
Thank you, Meg.
we have Trey Lee Weekly, Luke Lane Roberts, and Troy Lee Weekly. You can all come up. Yeah, representing our rodeo community.
On behalf of the Florida High School Rodeo Association, we have this plaque to commemorate your continued sponsorship of the association.
We appreciate that very much. And I don't know how many other people do, but I know I follow you all with your high school rodeo activities, and you guys do a great job. You really do. You're hitting it right on the nail, right? So congratulations. You keep the name of Davie going through the high school rodeo, as many have done before you. So thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Oh, it's Trey's last year and Luke's first year?
Yes.
Okay,
Continuing.
thank you. Okay, next thing is the consent agenda. Staff is requesting withdrawal of number 1 on the consent agenda. May I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. Staff is requesting table the following item to September 18th. That's code amendment. It's a second and final reading.
Number
May I have a
14?
motion
Which one? Number 14?
for number 17?
17, okay. Motion to table number 17 to what date? August
September
7th.
18th.
September 18th.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous.
Mayor,
Thank you.
can we do a roll call on that one, because it's a public hearing
Oh,
item?
okay, go ahead.
Mayor Paul,
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Starkey,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Here.
Councilmember Hatton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, on the consent agenda, I'll be pulling 9 and 10. Does anyone else have anything to pull?
No, you got it.
Okay, thank you. May I have a motion to approve consent agenda without 9 and 10?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. Thank you. Okay. Where am I? Number 9 is Saddle Bridge. Site plan. This is public hearing. Has quasi been waived?
Yes, it
Okay,
is.
thank you. So I'm going to open public hearing. Is there anyone that would like to speak on this?
Oh, excuse me.
You're up. I know it's going to be hard, but we do have a 3-minute limit on this.
A lot to talk about in 3 minutes that really affects the future of this community, but I'll do the best I can. First, I want to thank all you for your service in Cowboy Town, Davie, a town that we all love, and want to make sure as we develop this town that we have a quality of life for future generations. Always been very concerned about the development on Davie Road. You have a traffic study that is probably 100% wrong. this study basically doesn't take into consideration. When the study was done, it was through COVID. And if you look at the DOT calculations on the traffic through COVID, it was as much as 66% below normal. You also, you don't even account for the rodeo grounds. No traffic. You do mention that 1,000 people attend, but no traffic at all, like it doesn't even exist. And at times there's 5,000 people. But when you look at the calculations that your traffic engineer did, and our traffic engineer is here tonight, in your actual traffic, which is certified by DOT, in some cases are 66% higher than what you're seeing on your study. You know, the important thing, and I want to make it clear, nobody should be against development. Jobs, economical growth, extremely important. But a balance of a quality of life, too, is important for future generations in this community. And I think it's important that this is tabled and you look at an accurate traffic study so you know the impacts that you're creating. The other thing you're creating is you're transferring traffic to a certain part of Davie Road. You say it's level D. It's not level D at all, well below that. And how do you develop the rest of the downtown? Because you're putting traffic at a level that the congestion on Davie Road is going to be terrible for our community. And considering the rodeo grounds and the importance of the culture, the heritage, the roots, and the identity of this town that all of you have fought for, all the council and all the people here, is important that we don't make it impossible to enjoy the heritage of this community. This traffic study that you have is 100% incorrect, totally. I got a few examples here that, just to give you an idea, when you do a traffic study, you're supposed to do a radius of 1.5 miles. You only did a 1/4 mile. You basically, the traffic study, actually, the traffic will be twice what you have on the study, and you're at level D without using the proper calculations of the actual traffic. All you're looking at is COVID. You're not looking at traffic before or traffic after. And you're going to have an absolute mess. I'm also disturbed that you're using the entrance of the rodeo grounds. Back when we were talking about all of this, it was my understanding it would be a service road that would support the rodeo grounds and utilities that could support development on Davie Road. But now we have all the traffic coming in the entranceways on top of the traffic that we have for 5,000 people, and there's no calculations in this at all. You're going to have an absolute mess. If you have any questions, my traffic engineer is here. He's willing to answer everything. But I think this is important to table where you're making decisions based upon accurate impacts to this community. They're not accurate. So you really are making decisions based upon what you're creating that could affect the quality of life in this community and for future generations to come. And I appreciate the time you've given me here to speak.
Thank you. Yeah, it went over a little bit.
My 3 minutes, if I could?
He already took it.
Very well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
I'd like to say one other thing. Justification for revising the study. when you look at 4 locations, you're actually 50% drop to 66% drop in COVID when you did the study.
Yeah, you mentioned that before.
Yeah, and so you're gonna have twice the traffic that the study you're looking at in this community. You're gonna double it, and this town, these people, our citizens own a lot of land along that. The town don't own it, the people own it. And you're transferring and lowering the value of property owned by the people in this community when you do this. You're devaluating your own property.
Thank you.
And I think the quality of life will change dramatically.
My name is Allie Waldman, and I represent the Bergeron Companies. I'm here to tell you that the rodeo arena is a very special place in this county. It is the heart of Davie, and anything that impacts the traffic that comes in and out of that arena needs to be evaluated very carefully. And for that reason, we are here tonight, not to object to the project, but to alert you that there are issues. So many changes have happened since COVID. The town has actually built a median and shrunk the size of Davie Boulevard. So you need to look at this from the perspective of utilization of the arena, the continued growth of the arena, and potential in the future for expansion of the arena. You have to really be concerned about that, because whatever you do here needs to be sensitive to the use of that incredible asset, not just for Davie, but for the entire county. So because of the unique position of this project, you have to be extra sensitive with respect to making sure that there are proper planning strategies and methodologies used for purposes of achieving everybody's use of their respective properties. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else? Okay, I'll close. Oh.
Hi, good evening. My name is Bill Barbaro. I'm with Carnan Proctor and Cross Engineers. I am the engineer that did the independent study over the traffic study that was done for the previous development. And a few of those key items that that were already spoken of. Really wanted to bring up the fact that you are setting precedents for other developments that are going to come through, and we want to be good shepherds for our city, our town. A couple of those items that were highlighted was that Broward County does require a minimum of 1.5 miles of radius for this study, and what was done was basically a quarter mile. And none of the study only looked south. It didn't look to the north, east, or west in that evaluation. So it's something that should be taken into account. A lot of these points that were brought up before regarding the COVID, as you know, the traffic numbers are skewed because no one was traveling. So to utilize those numbers doesn't really dictate an accurate model of what you're doing. If you use 2019 or previous, it's a better example of what you're really going to be facing. There's been a lot of changes. So besides just the median changes and the traffic flow changes, there's also been additional committed development traffic for other developments in the area. So I'm not saying stop it, stop the project. I'm looking at you really need to evaluate it because you're setting precedents for everyone else that comes through. You're limiting it to now a quarter mile. So some of the other parts that were brought up was that the rodeo has 0 trips accounted for in this because it was considered on the weekends. And it was mentioned that data was provided that said about 1,000 people, but the capacity for the rodeo is 5,000. So if you're only going to limit that to 1,000 for, what I hold dear to my heart is emergency response. And so if you're looking at that, you're going to limit the rodeo now to 1,000 because that's how many trips are allowed to get in there. You start really kind of reducing your resources. So the idea here is to really take a good look at what you're approving and what you've approved in the past. And maybe it's, time to really act as if you weren't part of the project and represent the city. Thank you much.
Is there anyone else? All right, I'll close the public hearing. Want to hear from staff, Mr. Lemack?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Yeah, we're not surprised by this, so we have something prepared. I've been dialoguing with Mr. Bergeron continuously. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Holste. I think we have some information we can provide.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, public. Philip Holste, Assistant Town Administrator. So tonight before you, you have the site plan for the Saddle Bridge developments. Back in October of 2022, you had approved a similar site plan for the Altman Development Group. The difference between that site plan and this site plan is the commercial element has been removed from this site plan. What you're considering tonight has 286 dwelling units and a parking garage. This is a rendering of how the project looks like from Davie Road. I know. Every time I hit it, it's doing that. So maybe you'll just have to change it for me. Sorry, technical difficulties. Go on to the next slide. No? You went to the end. You're at the, you have to go all the way to the beginning. Next slide. Continue it so it shows the site plan. So this is an overlay of the site plan on the project site. If you recall, the town in this area has been amassing this land starting from the former Wendy's down to the Melman property, approximately 4.1 acres. On the north side of 42nd Street is a residential building. On the south side of 42nd Street is a residential building and the parking garage for the project. So we just want to show you an element of the project that we really appreciated. This is what you're going to see as you go underneath 42nd Street heading towards the Bergeron Rodeo Grounds and Arena. Next slide. So something that's unique to this project is we have 20% of the project is inclusionary housing, attainable housing. We have 3 low-income units in this project. Those are units that households can make up to 80% AMI. We also have 54 units that are moderate income units that are up to 120% AMI that have a 15-year deed restriction. So as a reminder, the Town Council and Broward County has approved the plat. It was approved at 286 units and 1,750 square feet of commercial space. It's in the process of being recorded. So back previously, White Oak today is proposing 286 mid-rise units. They will not be using that commercial allocation. So something that I'm going to touch on my next slide is Broward County in their analysis, based upon what was there on previous plats, there was 40,124 square feet of commercial use approved for those properties that make up the Altus plat as we see it today. Next slide. So when it went through the concurrency process at Broward County, it met concurrency for water and wastewater, regional parks, and public schools. But I want to draw you to one interesting fact. Next slide. Transportation. So when they looked at transportation, comparing the commercial, 40,000 square feet of commercial to 286 mid-rise units, based upon their analysis, the way they do it at Broward County, they saw a reduction of PM trips of 208 going from commercial to a multifamily residential project. Next slide. And now I'm going to bring up Jonathan Vogt to discuss the traffic study. Thank you.
So I'm going to provide a little bit of a traffic overview or an overview of the traffic analysis that was provided, which was done by Chris Hagan from Kimley Horn, who's a respected traffic professional. And he followed industry standards when he did this study. Understanding that when he looked at the FDOT trip generation numbers in 2020 and showing 15,000 trips, he realized he couldn't use that number, and so he went out and he took his own numbers in 22. to 18 months after that, after the pandemic condition, to get a feel of what was going on in the corridor. In addition, when he took in consideration the growth rate that was expected, he added 5 years of growth rate from 2022 to 27 that included, which is cumulative, that was based upon the 2016 to 2019 trip generation, which were those high numbers of 29 and 30,000 trips. So he used those numbers in that growth rate calculation. He also did not account for all the existing trips that Philip just mentioned about the 40,000 and the reduction in trips when he did his calculation of peak PM trips. He didn't include the beer barn. He didn't include the Commerce Center, the Chamber of Commerce Center as well, which would have reduced those trips and impacts. And then he also added future development that's not even in the corridor yet. He added Davie South. He added, I believe, Promenade, and he added, I think, Ultra as well. Things that were on the slate that have not even been built yet, but he included those in his trip numbers so that he could get a conservative review of what was going on. Also, with regards to the routing plan for events for the rodeo, he couldn't take the current event because events weren't occurring. So but he understands that we're utilizing 43rd for our routing plan. And also 42nd isn't used, and he analyzed 42nd Avenue to ensure that the capacity of 42nd could handle not only the trips that were going to happen as part of the development, but any event trips that would come down through there, the gas station trips and all those things, to make sure the capacity of 42nd could handle the movements in and out of that during an event. Also, over this time, understanding that we're redeveloping the downtown, the town has been proactive in making better connectivity through the downtown by building 67th, connecting 61st to Oaks. We have future projects on 39th to be able to widen that road to 3 lanes as well as increase that intersection. We know those are coming. We have them programmed in our capital program. We also are under design on 61st Avenue to widen the bridge, to be able to create more ways to be able to support the development that we have intended to do through in the downtown. And also take a look, even when you look at the 23 numbers that are not even near what was in 16 and 19. They're only at 23,000 for 2023. Driving behavior has changed throughout. People work from home. The numbers aren't as great. So you can't just use 20,000 in 16 and 19 numbers because they may not be reflective in 2023, 24, 25. So making smart evaluation decisions on what we can anticipate, that is what he based his study upon. I had the opportunity to reach out to Chris. He couldn't be here tonight, but I was able to talk to him about his study, and these are the things that he relayed to me. So based on my professional opinion, I would say that the appropriate traffic analysis has been performed and meets industry standards and reflects the impacts associated and concur with its conclusions.
Sorry, thank you. Is there anything else that you want to cover? Is there any questions?
Was the new town hall factored into the calculations of trips once our new town hall is being built? Because when the original study was done, we demolished it. Silence.
Those trip numbers aren't in there, but obviously we have different avenues for us to leave Town Hall. We have 65th Terrace, we have our driveways that way. And our peak hours and peak times are not during event times, and we don't all go to Davie Road. We go other ways to get home. When we have 67th, we have Orange, we have Griffin, we have Davie, we have different avenues for our standard trips for our Town Hall. but no, that number was not included in the study.
I would say it'd be significant in an impact as well, because of the fact that, you know, we all worked there. We know how many people come and go, not just the people who work there, but also the people who come to visit the services at Town Hall on a regular basis. I'm not a big fan, I'll tell you that right now. I've expressed my concerns over the years on this particular project, not only on, mostly, not so much on the dais as much as I have to staff. But staff's done a great job in trying to move this project forward, knowing that we want development. I just disagree with the type of development that they're looking for. I think we have a significant number of residential units down on Davie Road. I think we have too little business and commercial, which I've been a strong proponent of. You need a balance of both in a struggling economy. We know that when times are tough, and the economy back in the 2008, it was our small businesses that actually sustained us. And so we can't just leave that to chance. We have to actually plan for that, which we did when we all had our workshops on Davie Road and what we were doing. Many people attended that. Maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 years, must have been 15 years ago. And, you know, we had a master plan for that, and we wanted to see more mixed use projects. And when I saw originally that this was only, when it was Atlas, only had the 1,750 square foot, I said, that's not enough for commercial. We needed more commercial, we needed more business. But I guess, you know, staff felt differently. Well, staff, I think the world of you, but you don't have a vote. The 5 of us do. We decide how we want our town to proceed, and whether we want to have, you know, traffic so much on Davie Road that it's gridlocked, or do we want to see where we're going to have, you know, a good blend of mixed uses, some activities during the evening and some on the weekends and some during the day. But just building constant apartments or condos isn't really, I think, what the town envisioned when we had our master plan for our downtown area. I did speak to Mr. Bergeron today, and I'll fully disclose that, make sure everybody knows that I did speak to him. Mr. Bergeron did provide counsel and myself with all of the attachments with some information about this and the trip generation that was actually done back when COVID was done. I didn't know if you had included those in the new updates after COVID, or if a new study would be warranted. But you tell me that Town Hall wasn't even factored in when they said the 5-year projection was factored in. Well, we're gonna be in there in 2, hopefully less. So, I know, right?
Dream on.
So, I just think that this is something that, again, I'm not comfortable with. My gut's telling me it's just not in the right place at the right time too much. And I'd like to see if this could be tabled and a new traffic study be updated. And that would be where I'd like to at least see it go, to make sure that we're not overcrowding Davie Road beyond. I mean, we have schools there, we have teachers and students coming and going, and it's gonna be overwhelming on Davie Road with so many more units and not a mixed use. Yes, Phil?
I was just going to say that we have seen that the commercial isn't moving. And we have a lot of vacant areas where there are now commercial, and that was one of the reasons why it was eliminated, which took out a lot of trips. Now, I was at the same meetings that you were 15 years ago, and this is all part of the plan that was envisioned at that time. And the fact that we have to recognize that we have been voting on this and have been moving all these things forward as a council. I recognize the comments that our engineers made about the traffic, and I think it's significant, the number of trips that were eliminated by taking out the commercial. And if you'll remember, the two corner pieces on Davie Road are specifically for restaurants and commercial activity, and we're waiting anxiously for those two pieces to come along. And that will make up the commercial numbers that I think you were thinking of. But Mr. Holstein, Mr. Lemack, you were signaling me. Did somebody want to say something?
Okay. No, I just wanted to correct something that was said. It was said that the analysis was done during COVID. And the reason why that was said is in the one place in the report, it said February 2021, but it was actually performed February 2022 and August 2022. So it was in the one place our Scrivener's error was made, and it says February 2021. But if you look at the rest of the analysis, it was in 2022. So I just wanted to note that for the record. I don't believe 2022 would be considered full-blown in the middle of COVID at that point.
Mr. Lemack, excuse me, Mr. Lemack?
Yeah, I just want to address the Vice Mayor's comment because we have talked about this before. So I've been here over 13 years now, and we define downtown Davie as 39th Street to Orange Drive. And we've been planning for 13 years, and the only residential that's been built has been about 50 units in downtown Davie. That's about it. It's a small building. This project in front of you is to code. This project meets everything that was planned and approved by the public process before I came here, and we've been bringing this forward for your consideration and implementation. There has to be a balance in the development. This is the only residential project, other than what I met, the very small scale one. And the bookends to these are all commercial plan developments. And there's a relationship that exists between having people that will patronize these locations and have the ability to actually eat and dine and live somewhere. And we have made this core of a pedestrian-friendly environment to be able to accomplish those tasks by getting the 12-foot dedication of right-of-way on each side of the streets as a planned process as we move forward to make it for a safer and more beautiful downtown, as complemented by the recent median reconstruction in downtown. So I just want to say that there has been no development there. We've been planning forever. We've had the ups and the downs, but it's taken a long time for the CRA to be able to bring these projects. And this project will complement the arena. People will live at that arena by this because they want to be close to entertainment venues. And for Town Hall, we are seeing a significant decline in visits in Town Hall. As the budget presentation tonight for the hearing is that we're implementing so much technologies for online payments. And now that we can submit through our project docs for contractors and engineers and architects, they don't come in like they used to come in anymore. And they shouldn't really have to. The public should be able to be serviced either at their home or at their place of business, and we should be able to heighten our customer service, which we really have, and we've exercised that, and we've built that into this new model as we move forward with our technology. So I just wanted to put all that on the record, that there's nothing that's not being proposed and nothing that hasn't been addressed that isn't consistent with the plans that have already been approved. That's all. I thank you for that.
Okay.
One more question to follow up.
What?
To follow up on the other issue that was said, that there's a radius of 1.5 miles that should be done on these traffic studies, and that only a 1/4 mile was done. Can you address that?
I would defer to Jonathan on that one.
The only intersection that wasn't included, and it was stated, was Southwest 39th, and then 1.5 miles would be included. And it wasn't included because we knew that we were doing improvements and enhancements to 39th to be able to make that more compliant. And so there was no reason to do that because of the improvements that are coming forth.
Is there anybody else that would like to say anything? Michelle? Yeah.
I live 6 houses off of the main drag, off of Davie Road, and been there for 43 years. And I see, you know, there's peaks, whether it's the weekend or during the week, in the morning or late at night. Yes, the traffic can be overbearing, but I see a lot more people walking than driving now. And I think with having the buildings like they are on Davie Road, it took away from us turning into a ghost town. I think that having the buildings where the people residential, it's going to increase, I think, value in the rodeo grounds. You're going to have a lot more people going to those events. You're going to have a lot more people, whether it's the commercial that's at going to be at 39th or at Orange Drive. I think they'll utilize that. I don't have an issue getting out from my home on 41st Place, trying to go northbound, or, I mean, I take 61st to go southbound. So I think out of all of it, it affects me the most with being right there in walking distance of the main drag. I don't see an issue with it. Yes, there's going to be traffic when you have development, but I mean, you learn to work around a lot of that to where you can get in and out of your houses, and whether you're working, playing, or living there. So I think it affects me the most out of all of us up here, but I don't find an issue with it.
I have myself, I drive at all different times down Davie Road. And the other day, as a matter of fact, I was thinking to myself, oh, where are all the cars that everybody talks about? The traffic was very light, and it was like later in the afternoon. So the school buses were already gone, but I was expecting, you know, the rush hour type of traffic, and it wasn't there. And I just wanted to reference something that was said before about devaluation of property. I'm always flabbergasted when I see the increase in the value, the property values along Davie Road and in the surrounding neighborhoods that have occurred since we started this project. And it's phenomenal. And whoever thought way back when I first came to Davie in '74 that we would ever see that kind of values generated in an area. So I don't think that that's a valid point, that this development is going to devalue the property. Yes, Marlon?
I want to thank Councilmember Whitman for speaking up there. I really wanted to hear from you since I know you live so close to that area. This has been a long time coming, as Mr. Lamack was saying, and I see this as kind of an enhancement to the rodeo grounds. I don't see this as hurting it. I see a few years from now, when this is done, of more people walking around, more restaurants downtown, and a vibrant life for the downtown that Davie has. I've said this story up here many, many times about me being at a Christmas party in Miami, and an attorney there had asked me, you know, where I live, and I said the town of Davie. And he says, oh, he said, I was just there recently. He said, it's a very blighted area. And I said, excuse me? And he said, well, I had to go to something at Broward College, and he'd come to the Turnpike and come downtown and was talking about how bad our town looked. And, I went on and talked about the town and what the value of the homes are and what we are. But he had seen downtown, and that stuck with me, that somebody seeing our downtown for the first time thought we were a blighted area. And with the plans that we've made, the years we've put into this, I see nothing but enhancement in this area. And I think that there's a lot to look forward to, and I think it's going to be a change, for a lot of us. But I see this as something very, very positive. So I look forward to it.
Oh, was somebody? Yes.
I attended an event this weekend, and there were several electeds there, several labor people, and people came up to me, who most of you all know, and they congratulated me. They were actually excited, and they said, "Boy, Davie's really looking good. I'm amazed at the growth that it's had lately." And they're talking about our workforce growth and our all the growth that we're doing in housing. So I was very proud to hear that from them, that they recognized us, and with some local people and some neighboring people. And it was nice to hear them say that they thought it was great improvements that we've made and how much growth we've seen and what we're doing. So I just wanted to share that with you, that it is out there and people are noticing. And I think I'd like to ask Mr. Lemack how that's going to affect our inventory of workforce housing. I know it has a very good impact, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, that's correct. We have in all the projects now, based on Towns Council's changing for over 100 units, we mandate that there's 20% of affordable housing in that. We have a number of projects. Every one of the projects that you've considered or approved in the recent past, I guess, 6 months to a year, based on that change, all are affordable units, all affordable units,
Which is
we're proud of.
Thank you.
And this project has 20% affordable in it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, from listening to the comments, may I have a motion to approve?
Can I just speak one more time? For what it's worth, I agree with most of everything everybody said. I think we're heading in the right direction. That's not why I'm concerned. My concern was the traffic study that was done earlier, and I was just hoping we could get a tabling, just pause a moment, see if the traffic analysis comes back a little raw, maybe a little better, and we could see exactly what we're going to be dealing with, because we only have one time to get this right, and I believe we own the property, so we're in control of our destiny, and that's what I've always felt was important for us. The property that we're proposing to be developed should look at something that we really want to have there. So I want to make sure that we hopefully pause a little, table it, get this updated traffic study to see if there's any improvements that should be made, either by us or others. And I just think we need to take a pause and look at it. We own the property.
Well, we know that. Could I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it. What? The project? No. Okay.
Just wanted to be clear on it.
Yeah, no, it's a project. A roll call, please.
Councilmember Hatton?
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Starkey?
No.
Mayor Paul?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to go on to, that was what, 9? 10, which is Shalimar. Actually, I only, what? I basically pulled Shalimar mainly because I wanted to add some things in a motion. Otherwise, I would have not pulled it. I really don't think we need a presentation. Everybody's been very very aware of it and everything. But I've been in discussion with the developers, and I had asked them for some additional things. For instance, there's a real, if you've ever been back there and you know that ditch that doesn't go anyplace or do anything behind the Publix, which is supposed to be a canal all the way to University. The project originally was going to improve that canal and dig it out and improve it, And I requested that they continue that all the way to university. And they, I spoke with Jason, and I've been in conversation with Bill Laystrom. The water district, the developer, the people that own the property have all agreed to do that. So I think that's a major point to get across as far as that's concerned. Also, I spoke to them about some landscaping things. Casey Lee has been very adamant in the P&Z meetings about doing root pruning, especially after the debacle at the Spikes Grove with the trees that were improperly root pruned and moved to root prune at 120 days with the proper watering and so forth. And I also had requested, there are 3 internal roads there. And if you'll remember, Shalimar was the name of the ranch that I had my horses at Shalimar 1. And the 2 internal roads were my 2 horses. Well, I've got 3 names to do there. The gentleman that owned the property, his name was Duke. I don't know if you remember him. He had an old Palomino stud by the name of Colonel. And Donna Evans was boarding her horse at that ranch at the same time that I was boarding at Shalimar, and his name was Sirocco. And Sirocco, he was an Arabian, and Sirocco is Arabian for desert wind. So I have also asked for that to be included. I've written this all out to give to everybody. And if there should be 1 copy for the clerk. And if someone would like to make the motion, you can read it directly off of there to approve the site plan for Shalimar and to include the staff and planning and zoning committee recommendations, including the extension of the canal behind the Publix, the full-length University Drive, meaning cleaning out and improving, root pruning first at 120 days with watering and moving, monitored by Davie landscape personnel, planting perennial peanut as ground cover utilized instead of mulch in areas that are appropriate, and naming the 3 internal roads.
You just read it all.
Yes, so you can say so moved, right?
So moved, Mayor.
Do I have a second?
Seconded.
Okay. We
Duke
have-
Drive, Colonel. I
Can we
like
have a vote? Roll call?
Mayor Paul,
Yes.
Councilmember Hatton,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Starkey,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Good, Judy.
Thank you.
Good job.
And of course, that includes all the staff and board recommendations, which it always does. So now we're moving over to public hearings. Leona, Capital Improvement Program.
Oh,
Mr. Sherwin, would you read the resolution by title, please?
Yes. A resolution of the Town of Davie, Florida, approving the 10-year capital improvement program for the Town of Davie for fiscal years 2025 through 2034, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone from the public that wishes to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Is there any discussion from council? Were you going to make a presentation, or is the book the Bible? The book is the Bible. You did
Make
a
a
very
motion
good
to
job.
approve.
It's really nice, yes.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Councilmember Whitman,
Yes.
Mayor Paul,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Starkey,
Yes.
Councilmember Hatton.
yes.
Councilmember Lewis.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Unanimously.
Okay, that's great, unanimously. And number 14 is a code amendment. This is a first reading. Second and final reading will be held on September 18th. Mr. Sherwin, would you read the ordinance by title?
An ordinance of the Town of Davie, Florida, amending the following sections of Chapter 12, Land Development Code, Article 3, Use Regulations, Section 12-34, Standards for Specific Uses, Article 5, Development Standards, Section 12-81.2, Multifamily Residential Districts, Section 12-81.3, Commercial/Other Non-Residential Districts, repealing Section 12-90, exceptions to certain residential development standards, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you very much. Public hearing on this ordinance will be held. What? That date is wrong. The final reading is September 18th. Is there anyone who wishes to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Any questions or discussions from council? No. May we have a motion and a second?
Motion to approve number 14 code amendment.
Second it.
May we have a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman,
Yes.
Councilmember Hatton.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Starkey,
Yes.
Mayor Paul.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Ordinance, first reading, second and final reading to be held at a later date, the land use plan amendment related to Shalimar, and a supermajority is required. Mr. Sherwin, would you read the ordinance by title?
An ordinance of the Town of Davie, Florida, approving land use plan amendment, application LA 22-156, Shalimar 2, amending the Town of Davie comprehensive plan by changing the future land use plan map designation of certain lands from residential 5 DU acre to residential 16 DU acre, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you very much. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak for or against this item? You come forward at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Is there any comments or from staff? From staff. Hello, council. If not, may I have a motion and a second? Motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Yeah, thank you.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Starkey,
Yes.
Mayor Paul,
Yes.
Councilmember Hatton.
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
By the way, all the quasis have been waived with regard to these public hearings.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Was that for 16 also?
Yes.
Okay, 16 is a rezoning. This is also with, oh, that's what we just, no.
We did 15.
16, yeah, that's the rezoning, and that's
Right.
also a supermajority. And the second and final reading will be on September 18th. Mr. Sherwin, would you read the title, please?
An ordinance of the Town of Davie, Florida, approving rezoning application ZB 22-157 Shalimar 2, changing the zoning designation of certain lands within the Town of Davie from Recreation Open Space RS District, Planned Business Center B-3 District, and Agricultural A-1 District to Medium-High Dwelling RM-16 District, amending the town zoning map to comply therewith, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you very much. This is a public hearing. Anybody wishing to speak for or against this can come forward at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Is there comments or questions, discussion from council? Seeing none? Okay. Madam Clerk, would you give us, oh, no, I need to get a motion
Motion
first.
to approve, motion to approve
Motion
number
to approve.
16 rezoning.
Second it.
Okay, thank you. I jumped the gun again. Roll call now.
Vice Mayor Starkey,
Yes.
Councilmember Hatton.
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman,
Yes.
Mayor Paul,
Yes,
Councilmember Lewis.
Yes.
Motion passes.
thank you. Number 17 was tabled, so That closes the public hearing portion of the meeting. Okay. We approved 3 proclamations: Broward Mental Health Summit Day, Hunger Action Month, and Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, which is very, very important for us all. Any appointments anyone have? The Broward MPO Citizens Advisory Committee, I spoke to 2 people, but when I got clarification that it's once a month at 6 o'clock in the evening up at the MPO building up off of, was it Coconut Creek and 95, I got no thank yous. So I think that might be an issue. What happens if we don't appoint someone? Mr. Lemack, you know? It's important.
I don't know if there's any sanctions, but I think we'd love to have the representation.
Yeah.
If we could continue to try to find
Okay, we
somebody,
can
that would be
continue to
really
find.
helpful.
Okay, we'll keep looking. Did you speak with the person you were thinking of?
No, they're not available.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yep.
Okay, we'll keep looking then. The old business, no new business, we have our next meetings. Don't forget, the next meeting is the 12th, on a Thursday at noon, is the special assessments. On the mayor and council member, I'm just going to be quick tonight. Just remind everybody, we have rodeo this weekend and the Orange Blossom Festival. Oh, it's gonna be a long day. Huh? Pageant, that's, yeah, sorry. The pageant, the King and Queens
Yeah.
pageant. It will be here starting at 10 in the morning with Mr. and Mrs., and then at 11 with the little ones. And that should probably take a couple of hours, and then we get to rest a little bit and then go to rodeo. Also, and then the following weekend is the Mayor's Chess Challenge. And I went with Vice Mayor last night to the Community Police Academy opening. Did you ever get to CERT last night?
No.
Well, I'll go to CERT next week, so.
I know, I'll go to CERT.
You were there. I know you were
She's
there, that's why I figured, but it was hard that they were both on the same night, so I
Same
figured
hour, same
I'll
night.
come one night during the time just to say hello to everybody. And I just wanted to say, I don't know if anybody else was gonna do this, but when I saw the email, I was quite excited that Davie Powell is having their first ever career academy, which actually starts this week, where the ages 15 to 18 is very important, can learn the skills that you need for a successful career and be part of their job fair, and which is exclusively for the Career Academy attendants, and is actually started today, and it goes until October 23rd at 6 o'clock at the Powell Building. So I'm very excited about that. And then I was made aware of the fact at the last meeting that we talked about canceling and moving meeting dates. And I had talked about December 18th, and the comment was made that we had already done that. But then they went back to the records and found that we hadn't. So we have to vote on that, on canceling the December 18th meeting. So if I could have a motion.
Motion to cancel the 18th meeting.
December 18th meeting, is there?
Yes.
I'll second it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. Thank you very much. Michelle?
Thank you, Mayor. Okay,
Speak into the mic. Thank you.
on September 11th, we have the memorial service at 9:30 out at Western High School. Let's see. The Veterans Breakfast we have on September 17th here at Banford. And last but not least, happy birthday to all the September babies. That's all I got. Thank you, Mayor.
I'll be quick, yeah. The Seraptimus International puts together backpacks for the victims of human trafficking. And we had put together quite a few, and we delivered some to our police department because we have a liaison that works on the human trafficking victims with the FBI. We also had 3 backpacks that we gave to the FBI. But last Thursday, with another Seroptimus sister, we went to Kelly Cronenberg. They have a organization called Justice for Kids. And that organization also works with human trafficking victims and children of abuse. So it was really nice to have seen their program, talk to their lawyers. You know, several people that have been attorneys there working on these have been doing a great job. So I really think that we gave them some backpacks as well, and we're really excited to see if we can forge a decent partnership with them and Seroptimus Sisters. I know we have 3 of us up here that work with Seroptimus. Speaking of which, they have their golf tournament coming up in November, the beginning of November, and they have foursomes, and they want everybody to be involved. If you want to take a tee sign, if you want to play, or if you just want to sponsor, the mayor and I think Carol, maybe you have done it in the past, sponsor. Usually sponsor as well. So it's a very good organization that helps women and children, especially the victims, so it's a good thing. So that's about it. You've covered so much of the good stuff, so that's it.
Karen?
No, I have nothing. Thank you, Mayor.
Marlon?
Thank you, Mayor. As the Town Solid Waste Authority Council appointee, I wanted to provide a recent update regarding the Alpha 250 property. As a reminder, in June 2015, Broward County Resource Recovery Board municipalities entered into a settlement agreement over the litigation concerning the Alpha 250 property, which is located in Pompano Beach off Copans Road and the Florida Turnpike. This property was originally purchased as a future solid waste or recycling facility. The settlement agreement provided for Broward County and the municipality to sell the Alpha 250 parcel of land. Subsequently, Broward County and the municipalities agreed to delay the sale to allow Broward County Solid Waste Working Group to complete its work regarding a countywide solid waste district. Since the Solid Waste Authority is preparing its master plan, the disposition of this property is still unclear. Therefore, the sale has been delayed until October 11th, 2025, with the approval of County Administrator and mayors of the cities of Coconut Creek, Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, Miramar, Sunrise, and Weston on behalf of the municipalities per the settlement agreement. Staff is available if you all have further questions regarding this Alpha 250 property. I just wanted to bring everybody up to date on that, Mayor, and that's pretty much all I have.
How does that impact what's going on, having that
Nothing, it's
delayed?
put on hold for a year.
God. And that brings up another thing. I don't know if anybody else has been following it, the whole incinerator, Dade County incinerator issue, and relationship to its proximity to Miramar. So we've been watching that very closely also.
Yeah, it seems like they also came up with another site down there that I know that they were speaking on the news about. So it'll be interesting to see which one they finally choose. And I guess that's still up for a vote. When will they be voting on that?
I don't know.
Phil, no, I'm asking Phil.
I don't have a specific date, but I know there's 4 sites that are under consideration, including a land swap with the property owner that recently got in the mix, but they haven't set a date for deciding on a final site.
Yeah, I think, what was his name, Bermudez, who's the mayor now currently of Doral, was speaking at on the news on Saturday morning interview and talked about that site and said it seems to have a lot more promise than the other sites, so that's a good thing.
That's good. Okay, thank you. Mr. Lemack?
Thank you, Mayor. Just one announcement to make. I want to congratulate Assistant Town Administrator Philip Holste for being recognized by the International City Managers Association, or the ICMA. It's hard to believe, but it's for receiving their 25th year Local Service Government Award.
Wow.
Unfortunately,
and he's only 27 years old, right?
Oh, it's too bad. Yeah, unfortunately, he will not be able to attend the award ceremony, which is in Pittsburgh this month, but he will be recognized by name, and his plaque will be sent to him. So I just want to share that. We're very proud of him.
Congratulations.
So,
Very nice.
Yeah, and if I can, I wanted to give you an update, if I can, on one more project. So I'm happy to report that as of Monday, August 12th of this year, Broward County finally completed the updating of all the GIS trail markers associated with Robbins Lodge and Wolf Lake Parks into the Broward County E911 system. As a result of having this be completed, this will now make it possible for additional trail-specific markers to improve the overall response for any emergency incidents within all of Davie's parks, or these parks, I should say, hopefully to grow. The completion of this public safety GIS project, you should know, has been made possible, wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for the collaboration of our teamwork from the Davie Public Works Departments, Davie Fire, Davie PD, and of course Davie IT. We would like to provide special thanks and appreciation to the job well done. Took exceptional roles in this was Todd Evans in Public Works and Heath Meyer from our Davie Fire Rescue. They worked jointly to establish the plan for the required trail markers, and Mr. Evans ensured that all the trail markers were properly installed on all the trails located within these parks. We've been waiting this. You've asked me periodically. It was a very monumental task working with other jurisdictions, but they stayed the course, and we're very proud to announce that for you. So thank you.
Thank you, that's very good. I know we were talking about doing Treetops Park, and it was always mentioned that it was a county park. But as long as our first responders have to respond there, that should really be the next park to be done.
You're right on cue. That's exactly what we're working on.
Ah, yay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Good news. Mr. Sherwin?
I have nothing tonight. I would do another long presentation like I did at the last meeting, but I know
Okay.
none of
Thank
you
you very much.
would appreciate it.
If there are no objections, we're adjourned.